In the late 1920s, Wall Street looked like a place where people invested, but that's not what was happening. It was a casino, just one where everyone wore ties. People weren't buying stocks with their own money. They were borrowing to buy more, and they kept borrowing because prices kept going up. This is called leverage, and in the late 20s, everyone was using it. It wasn't an investment strategy, it was a movement. Millions of people doing the same thing at the same time, and all convinced they'd found easy money. And then it stopped. October 1929, Black Tuesday. Now, crashes weren't new. The market had dropped before. People already had seen markets going badly. This time, regular people were in the market. Teachers, factory workers, your neighbor. And they weren't just investing their own money, they were borrowing heavily to do it. When the market collapsed, it didn't just wipe out the gamblers, it wiped out everyone. Stock prices fell so fast the ticker tape couldn't keep up. By the time you saw a price, it was already lower. People tried to sell. Everyone tried to sell at once, but nobody was buying. Then came the margin calls. Brokers wanted their loaned money back immediately. People couldn't pay. They didn't have it. So brokers automatically sold their stocks at whatever price they could get, which pushed prices down even more. But here's what made this crash catastrophic. In previous crashes, when the market fell, life went on. You still had your savings. Your job was safe. The economy kept moving. But not in 1929. Because this time, the crash didn't stay on Wall Street. It infected the banks, and once the banks got sick, everything collapsed. So how did the banks get sick? Banks had lent billions to people buying stocks on margin. When the market crashed, those loans went bad, all at once. But that's not what killed them. What killed them was fear. A rumor spreads in New York. People say the Bank of the United States is in trouble. It isn't even true, but it doesn't matter. By morning, there's a line. Thousands of people, all demanding their money, right now. Banks don't keep your money sitting in a vault. They lend most of it out. You deposit $100. Maybe 10 stays in the bank, the other 90 gets loaned to someone else. The system works until everyone wants their money back at the same time. The Bank of the United States tries to pay people. They have the money, just not in cash. It's tied up in mortgages, loans, investments. By the end of the day, the cash is gone. The doors close. 400,000 people lose their savings. No deposit insurance, no government rescue. Your life savings, gone. And the panic spreads. One bank closes, people rush to the next. That bank runs out of cash too. More panic, more closures. By 1933, 9,000 banks have failed. 1/3 of all banks in America. 9 million savings accounts erased. The stock market crash shook the economy. But the bank runs shattered it. By the early 1930s, the damage was everywhere. In the United States, unemployment reached 25%. 1 out of every 4 workers had no job. Thousands of banks had failed. Millions of families lost their savings. Factories stood silent. Bread lines stretched for blocks. But the disaster left behind lessons. Governments created deposit insurance. Banks were regulated. And central banks learned to act faster during crises. Because the Great Depression proved one thing. A market crash can start the crisis. But fear is what turns it into a catastrophe.